Welcome to the Sisters Uncensored podcast, where we get into everything from childhood trauma to millennial adulting and all things in between.
We share crazy stories from the past and present to help us cope with the insanity that is our lives.
By sharing our perspectives, we hope to bring some relatability, laughter, and unsolicited advice that can help you survive the messiness of life along with us.
My name's Jessica Labita. I'm a millennial mom, wife, and marketing professional, and I am absolutely insane.
My name is Ashley Lanive. I am a millennial stay-at-home mom, avid golfer, and too mouthy for my own good.
We are real sisters, and this is Sisters Uncensored. Take this trip with us. Welcome to the Sisters Uncensored podcast. Today we're going to cover some topics about things that we haven't really been able to be completely vulnerable and open with you all about over the last couple of years.
Okay.
And so a lot of our listeners have told us that we need to be more vulnerable and authentically ourselves, and that they can tell that we're holding back. And I think this comes a lot of times from people who know us, know our personal lives, and know that there's a lot more going on than it may seem, right?
Yeah.
So, I thought today would be a good day to sort of dig into that. I don't know that I want to go like full on detail of everything in my life.
No, I don't think we have to go on full throttle. I think it's just there, especially over the last, say, year and a half, 2 years. It's been there's been a lot going on behind the scenes for the both of us, as far as just closing chapters, and now that they are actually closed, and we've gotten ourselves to that place, each individually in each of our lives. We didn't want to talk about it at the time because we're trying to be respectful. We're still trying to be respectful.
100%.
But we just didn't want any kind of outside influence on the situations that were already sensitive to begin with.
Yeah.
And so I think we're ready to open up a little bit more about those things and at least be a little bit more transparent about them. But we're not going to get into like nitty gritty nonsense. That's stupid.
No.
But whatever.
So, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Let your hair down, sister. Get it out.
I clipped it up.
Get it out.
It looks cute. Okay. So, how do I start this?
I'm sure everybody's wondering what happened to Jessica's husband, considering she now lives with me.
Right. Okay.
Or we now live together.
So I want to, again, maintain respect for my ex-husband. He is the father of my kids. I love him. It is a very sensitive subject to talk about because there's a lot of people involved and there's a lot of hurt that's happened. I guess the way that I can explain it best for myself and maybe for other women out there who might be feeling the same way that I was feeling is that I got to a point where over a long period of time, I felt like I was asking for more in the relationship. I felt like I was carrying too much on my own. And while I understand that men perceive their role as the provider and the protector, I don't need a provider. I need your physical time and attention in our household, with our children, in our marriage. And that wasn't happening. And I don't feel like I was being loved the way I deserved. That is not to say that it's his fault or my fault. It is just to say that we've evolved and changed, I think, over time. And I got to a place where I felt like I could not be authentically who I wanted to be because I was curbing my behavior, my decisions, everything that I was doing to appease my husband. And that meant stifling my career, not traveling as much. It meant putting my career second to everything else in our home. And for me, my career is really important to me. And as the primary earner, I think, for our family, which is what created such a different dynamic in our relationship, that was a lot of pressure on me. because I was expected to do all the female gender roles in the house, cooking, cleaning, what have you, taking care of the kids, anything for school, all the doctor's appointments, the shopping, you name it. And he's very helpful with the kids when it comes to sports and other things. But it became like the routine of running and life was our life. And we didn't really have a relationship anymore. It was like a roommate, I felt like. And I didn't want to think of him that way anymore. And I didn't want the stress of having to keep stifling myself to be another burden for the next 40 years of my life. And so, you know, this isn't a decision I think that women take lightly, deciding to leave their partner. This was almost a decade in the making. Like, I think as women, we try to convince ourselves to stay and that we can fix it and that everything's going to work out, or we continue to suffer in a situation that isn't ideal for us to please everyone else around us.
I think women are selfless in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when it comes to their families,
Mm-hmm.
you always want to make sure your kids are
Sure.
first. You just want to make sure everybody's going to be okay. And this isn't something that, like you said, women, in my opinion anyway, don't just decide one day, wake up and say, oh, it's over.
Yeah,
it's
no.
done. Like, I'm done. I'm moving on. But women aren't like that. This is the way I word it to everybody who's been through this experience or something similar. Women, I feel like, have a very long rope. And only we know when it's our time, when we've had enough, or when it's no longer working, and actually come to the end of it.
Yeah.
And everybody's is different. Is different, but it's never something that happens overnight. It's 100% of the time years in the making. It's always years in the making. And it's little things that accumulate, or little things that get dusted under the rug. And then after a while, you have a big mountain under the rug.
Yep.
And, it's trying to clean that up isn't always possible. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And I think, too, it really takes two people to be fully dedicated to wanting to fix issues or to even acknowledge that there are issues that exist in a marriage to make it work. And, you can only control yourself. You can only take care of yourself, really. Like, you can't change the way other people behave or how they act. What you can do is change how you behave and how you act. And so that's what I did, is I decided that I'm going to take my life back. I'm going to continue to be the best mom that I can be, but I'm going to focus harder on our career, on our future as a mom, and just being me versus being a wife. I didn't want to do that anymore.
Okay. That's fair.
So that's kind of where we're at. It was a very amicable divorce, I would say. The whole process took us 5 weeks. I feel like things are good now. We're getting along. We're both going through it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's an adjustment for everybody.
It's like a grieving period almost that happens. You're sad. And I am sad, like, this is not what I wanted for my life. But I also don't want to feel like I'm smaller than I am. And I want to live to my full potential.
That's fair.
And the only way I could do that was to choose to go off on my own.
That's fair.
And I want to be a good example for my kids to see what a marriage should be and how they should be loved.
I think that's something that is one of the things most women realize once they're through it, like once they get over that hump and the split is done. I feel like it weighs on moms' minds very heavily. They replay back how they got here and what they want to make sure they're not setting as an example.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or setting as an example. You know what I mean? Like, you want to, hindsight's 20/20 for everybody. Listen, I'm sure
It's true. And like most of us are learning as we go through life.
Yeah, and at the
nobody
same
prepares
time-
you for all this stuff that could possibly happen.
I would say
And yet I think we were sort of prepared as children for what could happen.
it's weird because, I would say because our childhood parents' divorce was a fucking nightmare. I think we lived our lives preparing for
100%.
the dissolve of a marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, I never really cared about getting married.
No.
You know that.
Yeah.
So, or having kids or anything like that. And it was mainly because I did not want to end up divorced or with children and putting them through what we experienced.
Yep.
Because that shit sticks with you. Everybody who's been through it knows it. You did everything by the book, I feel like, with getting married, having kids, starter home, forever home,
Yeah.
all the things, career I feel like you did everything by the book. And it doesn't matter if you're doing it by the book. At a certain point, if you're happy and if you're not happy. And so does your partner.
Right.
Okay? So it takes a lot, I feel like, for women to walk away and put down something like that. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
chapter. It's not something that's done hastily or quickly. That's for sure. But after it happens, you will go through honestly like a period of just hindsight. You're just looking back and seeing all the things that could have gone this way, should have done that way. How did I do this? Why did I do that?
Yeah.
And you almost start to question your own judgment. And at the same time, we're all human. People change. People
Yeah.
evolve.
Yeah.
People grow. They grow apart. They grow together. It can go either way.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest positives that we have mentally for the two of us, specifically, from the experience of our parents' divorce, is that we never want to be at odds
No.
with our children's fathers.
No.
Like that. I think we both just only want to get along. I'll do whatever I have to do to keep peace.
Same.
I'm not going to fight. I'm not into it. I'm
Nope.
not going to. You're not going to get out of me. I want us to be
The road.
friends, best friends. If
The
we can
road
be
gives
friends.
us a good view when it's up high.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
taking the high road. It's challenging, right? I mean, there's things that come up every day that are still a part of this whole process and us figuring it out, and custody with the kids and visitation and who does what, when, where, and who's driving here because none of us are really settled yet. He's still moving into his new home. So we're all sort of out of sorts. And I think,
Everybody's getting into their new normal.
yeah. And I think it's good, right? Because for me, I felt like I was in fight or flight for so long that now, and I think that's part of that relief that I sort of referenced last episode, where it's like I'm feeling this sense of calm and like peace. And I think it's because I've let go of that. I don't think I'll ever let go of it completely.
No, I know. It's okay.
And you feel like such a failure.
It's the worst. I know exactly what you mean. I think that's, I don't know, I can't speak for other people, but for me, I stayed in it way longer than I ever should have, because I did not want to fail. I did not want to have my child come from a broken home, or I did not want history to repeat itself. I really didn't. And I was willing to eat every spoonful of shit if it meant that everything was going to be okay. And she still had her parents together, living together, siblings, whatever it,
Right.
And honestly, I had to me, it was like, I don't know. It was only because of my support system that I even left.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't either. And again, like our situation, and I don't know that everyone necessarily understands how we came to be living together, but I think that's an important thing to touch on quickly because I was divorced. My husband was moving into a new home, and I was maintaining and keeping our family residence for myself and the kids. And we were just going to stay there. Ash was trying to come up by where I lived to find a place to rent, was having a hard time finding anything worth renting up there. Everything we saw was shit. The really only hope was to buy something. And you were kind of still in limbo with your agreements. We were like waiting to figure out, are you going to buy? Are you going to rent? What's going to happen? And then this house comes on the market, and I had just refinanced my house. So we were both in a place where we're like, well, fuck it. Like, we could do this together. I could sell this house.
Yeah.
You don't have to rent anymore. We could go in together.
So it's not like I wanted to rent. All of last year and for several years in the making, my daughter's father and I have not been together for 6 years. And that's okay. Like, that has its own ups and downs and whatever, and that's okay. He has always been very generous with making sure that we have everything that we need. He's taken very good care of us financially. He was the breadwinner. He still is, but he
allowed you
always
to
did
stay home
right by us
and take care of Mila.
To stay home and be a mom to her. And
Yeah.
that was part of our agreement after we had her, So, of course, years go by and nothing was on paper, and then trying to get things on paper, then we start to get some resistance, and there's a lot that's involved with it. Like, people have their own reasons for not wanting to cooperate, I guess, or it could be,
Yeah.
you're pissed off this day or you're getting along this day, and
Yeah.
that's what happens when you split.
Yeah, there's good days and bad.
Yeah, there's lots of ebbs and flows. But at the end of last year, we were able to finally get that situated and get it on paper and come to a resolution amicably done, so we'd never have to argue about it or talk about it again, which to me was a huge relief.
Yeah.
To just know what I'm working with, what I need to do. Like,
yeah, where you got to be.
Yeah, exactly. Versus not knowing, and if somebody gets mad and then you're getting punished, or but there's just things just get in the way, But we made it to the other end of it, which, thank God, because that was a huge relief, I think, not just for me, but also for him.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for him, but just to know it's not anything that is going to be a topic we have to deal with again. We're done as far as that goes. We still try to get along, and for the most part we do. I mean, ever since that hurdle has been taken out of the way of the finances being put in black and white,
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a huge stress relief off of the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
There's no longer that topic to argue about. What's done is done, and that's it. And we agreed, and on to the next thing. And it's been. I'm very grateful.
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful.
It was a really long time of not knowing how you could settle in to your future because things were still
Unresolved.
ending and unresolved. Yeah.
Unresolved. And furthermore, you add the pressure of a little kid and like moving them from school to school or
Yeah.
house to house. And like, to me, structure and stability are the most important things for my daughter. I know that for my daughter. She thrives on structure and routine and stability. She's good. She'll do anything she needs to do as long as it's part of the routine. We're good. We're good. You throw a little monkey wrench in there every once in a while, it's not going to be a problem because she trusts that everything is
Yeah.
lined up. She knows that we got it under control. But moving her from school to school and all of these types of things, that bothered me the most because it was just so disruptive for a little kid.
Yeah.
And I just wanted her to have roots. So by the time, my daughter's father and I resolved our issue, there was only like 2 months left on my current lease. And to renew it was going to cost me a fortune. I didn't want to pay that to renew it because they were raising the rent again. That's a whole nother story. For
Oh,
another
we
day.
need to get into that
We'll
at
get into
some
that.
point.
We will get into
We have really good stories for you about Ashley's move out.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I can't even think about it right now 'cause it'll-
I see the rage
I
like instantly like
feel the veins popping in my neck. Okay, so anyway,
she had to leave.
I had to leave. Yeah, so I had to find somewhere for us to go. And I am not somebody who impulse buys large items. Like I would never go and just buy a house and be like, oh, this is it. This is where we're going to live now. Like I have to be comfortable and mentally prepared to make big commitments like that.
Yeah.
I have a hard time with commitment. So
Yeah.
at least with a rental, I'm like, it'll get us by for the next year. Mila's going to have to change schools twice again. That sucks.
Right.
But it's what I got to do because I can't commit to buying something in 2 months. I just can't. I couldn't wrap my head around that. This house happened to come up and it just came up at the perfect time.
Yeah.
And it was completely by chance
Yep.
that we went to go and see it. We were actually, she was coming with me to look at some other places to rent, and I fucking hated everything that I saw. And she was trying to convince me to come and live closer to her and everything. And I knew that would be good for us. So, you know, I was looking, and randomly this house happened to come on while we were out. We just happened to notice it as a new listing. And the realtor brought us right over to look at it that same day. And
The rest is history.
the rest is history. It just, for the most part, it was very seamless.
Yeah. It's like it was meant to be.
It really was. The stars all aligned. I don't know. It was God's plan.
Yeah.
It was God's plan.
I agree.
But yeah, so that's kind of what brought us to where we are right now. But again, like,
There's years of buildup and things that come along with these decisions that we're making.
absolutely. And, you know, also not to come across as though we're not being totally transparent or honest about what goes on in our lives. We are trying to be respectful of our kids' fathers and of our kids.
Yeah.
You know, like they are going to see this stuff one day. And listen, I'm sure they'll clutch their pearls quite a few times. But
I mean, most of the bad stuff we talk about, they were there for. So they found the thing in the basement.
the fleshlight, good times. So anyway, no, I just think, you know, if, at least for me, when I split from my daughter's father, I made the conscious decision that I will never, ever let her hear bad
Yep.
about him from me.
Yep.
It will never happen. Or from my family.
Nope.
Like, if, and nobody's perfect, all right? I'm like, anybody
Sure.
could say bad things about me too, don't get me wrong. And I'm not perfect. I know I fuck up too. I make mistakes, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. But those imperfections would never be pointed out by me under any circumstances. I only want my daughter to think the best of her father and love him and his family and know that she is loved to the ends of the earth. And I love her more than any animosity or grudge I could ever have for anybody else. So that
Well
was
said.
my goal.
Well said. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we probably end this here because, you know, I've done enough crying for one episode.
You need to take a Xanax. I am so medicated. I feel nothing. I feel nothing.
You're 7 years down the road from where I am.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm still, I'm definitely.
She's well over the hill.
I've also, but you know what? And that's when you were talking about the fight or flight thing. I was in fight or flight for 7 straight years. Like
It's not fun.
straight years. So
Why do we do this to ourselves as women? Like,
listen, nobody can tell you when you've had enough.
I know.
Nobody can tell you. It's
No.
so weird.
And everyone's line is different because there are
Yeah.
so many women who I've spoken to over the last few months who are asking questions about my situation or what happened. Like, everything seems perfect. Like, how did this happen? Like, what went bad or whatever? And it's like, it's not like it just happened like over time.
Yeah.
And anyone that was in our inner circle has known the challenges that we've had. Like, you would know your best friend's marital challenges
Of
too, right? Like,
course.
we take care of each other.
Exactly.
But yeah, it hasn't all been peaches and cream, and so this is our happily ever after.
Yeah.
And I
it's
think,
gonna be good.
yeah,
I feel great about it.
I think it's going to be a really exciting road ahead.
I love our dad's biggest fear is like, what happens if one of you falls in love with someone? I'm like, are you fucking crazy?
They can move in.
Listen, nobody's moving in with me. I'll tell you that much. You want to
Nope.
move somebody in, go right for
I'm
it.
not.
I don't give a shit. I don't want any partner living with me other than my sister. You could bring in whoever you want. I don't care. But I am not me. Nope.
I think it's good to just kind of settle in alone for right now and figure
It's
out
great to be alone.
how we're, I don't know. It's starting over. It's like a whole new life. I got to figure out how I do this.
You're gonna
'Cause
figure
it's
it out.
different. But it's not that different.
I think it's probably a softer landing from everything
Yeah.
because of the circumstances of
Yeah.
the support
yeah.
and us being together.
Yes.
the
And I
kid-
feel like I've been going through like a marital separation for a decade along with you.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just weird that like
it's hard.
things turn out the way that they did. But yeah.
But you know what? Listen, the way I see it is if also, and I know I said this too, actually, just on the way down here, came up as something else. We were talking about some other problem about something, I don't know, whatever it was. But when I was going through it, I was devastated, and I thought, my life is not, it's just never going to be great after this. And I'm obviously very much a person of faith, and I believe in God, and I pray all the time, and I put all of my energy into spiritual healing for the time that I was going through this.
Yeah.
And it turns out better than you could ever expect. It's part of the plan.
Yeah.
I trust God's plan. And
Yeah.
It's turned out, at least for me, better than I could ever ask for, and better than I ever would have dreamt.
Yeah.
So this is the greatest.
I think
move.
I think I'm there with you, right? Like I know that is the potential of what we're building here.
I'm already there.
It's still like it's still raw. Like they're still living in the other house.
It's
like
you guys are.
and like to your
still in
point, like, I
transition.
want to be friends. I want to accommodate, help, be all the things, but like I also have to draw lines in the sand where I'm like, I'm not your wife anymore.
Well, boundaries are really important when you're starting off. This
So yeah, I'm
new
figuring
type of thing.
all of that out.
Yeah, and
and like
that's-
in the thick of it.
that's
It's
a
very
lot.
emotional. And then
It
trying
is.
to have a career on top of this, right? Like all these things that I want and that I'm doing this to be able to have, to do the things I want to do, to live the life I want to live. I'll get there, right? But I have to get through this still.
Listen, there's good days and bad days. Take the time to. I noticed also, at least again for me, and I noticed it with you. You can feel guilty about now that you have that time to rest. You start to feel guilty when you do rest. Never feel guilty about resting.
I know.
Give yourself the time. Give yourself the grace. Your nervous system goes through a lot when you're going through this, and it's learning to come down.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like relearning to come down. It's
yeah.
hard.
It's true. It's very
really
true.
hard. So listen, you're doing great.
Thanks.
I
I'm
love
trying.
you.
I love you.
I love your ex-husband. I love
Me
your
too.
kids. I love our families.
Yeah. We're all going to be okay.
Everybody's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's all gonna work out. You gotta like take a fucking Xanax or something. I mean, we gotta increase your dosage. All right, so that's really where we're at right now. And if anybody wants to share anything that they have to say or any insight, any advice that you could give,
Love it.
by all means, we're all ears.
And if you're going through some sort of crazy marital breakup or even a not crazy one and you're feeling some kind of way and you need a community of people to support you, welcome to Sisters Uncensored.
Yeah, everything is temporary, guys. Everything's temporary. All right, well, we're good?
Yes.
All right, let's wrap it up. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.